What's happening, family? Hope you're doing well. Welcome to another live stream. And in today's live stream, I'm going to share some information with you that is publicly available. We'll also look at some charts. We'll talk about the market. Again, this is probably the most important time to stay disciplined over the next couple of months. And good evening to you, Pato. My brother Caveman is there as well. What a legends. Absolute legends. Hope you're all doing well, brothers. And the rest of the people that are joining us, welcome to the live stream. And yeah, let's have a look at this. We're going to use Nansen to check some projects. Of course, there are some contracts here which are consistently, to be honest, in terms of like, look at noise, for example. Noise has been seeing money flow. The past 24 hours is up by 27%, regardless of the market performance. And we're also going to look at some of the good coins that you must have in your portfolio without any compromise. Of course, there will also be some coins that we need to watch and perhaps even part with. But what I'm seeing here is the listing of Vantis on Binance. You're seeing a $1 million outflow, $64,000 inflow. And that is a change of 943,000. You'd expect after a major listing, something like that happens. And of course, Pat has said, can you have a look at Peaq? Yes, I think we can. And I did share a kind of a Peaq analysis, but with Peaq, I don't think you get the full, somehow it doesn't actually track the whole contract, which is not surprising because some of these projects are their own layer ones. Let's go here. Let's close a few of these. And what are we looking at? Let's go get CoinGecko. Guys, it's more important right now to have a balanced, well thought out portfolio. You're not too late for in doing that. And of course, you need to have an exit plan. We'll talk about, that's all I'm going to talk to you about. We're going to talk about less about getting new coins, unless they're very specific and offer a good trade opportunity. But a lot of this stuff is down. A lot of the stuff is, Ethereum versus altcoins. The chart is super, super low. And what we saw with Peaq here is this revival here. I mean, this was on its backside for the longest amount of period. It is a layer one. So you do actually see the money flow. You're starting to see the 24-hour trading volume. At one point, it was like a couple of $1 million. It's hardly anything, to be honest. So for that reason, I can't really, let's see what contract we get here. So anyway, Peaq is done very well. Aerodrome Finance is looking to rip, guys. Aerodrome Finance is looking to absolutely go insane. I guess the only thing we can actually track here is, let's just take this out. Let's turn this music down a little bit. All right. So, yeah. So Peaq is looking good. I think the ultimate bottom could be in for Peaq, in my opinion. I can't see how it gets even worse from where it's been. Having said that, if you track Peaq on On the wrap token, you could see here what's really happened in the last few days. You know, it's got a lot of liquidity coming into it. Balances have gone up. Holder count has gone up. Of course, volume has shot up massively. And that's all you want. It's still relatively a cheap asset, but it is finding a level above 10 cents. And you'll only understand if I squeeze this to September. So this is what Peaq is doing right now, which is pretty decent. Yeah, appreciate that, brother. Much love and respect to you too as well, bro. I've got to deliver you the portfolio. It's almost done. I'm going to share that with you tonight. Yeah, 100%. This is the money making time. It is almost silly not to think that something else is going to happen in the market. Dave said, look at OpenX. I think you've shared a couple of gems with me in the Discord today, but this is up 66%. Looking very, very good on base as well. And with base, what you got to look for is fully diluted valuation. This is excellent, in my opinion. And this is a project that is, again, the open and borderless AI network. You can see here, you know, fundamental plays, decent plays on base are becoming more and more available. Base, I think, is going to do what BNB did. It still has no centralized listings. Of course, you're going to do your own research, but I do believe this looks pretty decent. Build, deploy AI agents in 5 minutes. And of course, once you see projects like this, you've got to remember a lot of these projects. I mean, this one has matured to the point where it's at $89 million. Fully diluted, 2 million in volume. And that's actually coming from DEX. So yeah, very good shout out there, bro. Yeah, Nosana has had a very interesting time. I mean, I remember doing a couple of alerts on NOS during April, May, and nobody wanted to touch it. We still may have one last opportunity, but what you're starting to see with a lot of these charts is this type of chart movement. And today, guys, I did share on DeFi Llama an interesting metric, right? So a lot of people think the alt season is over. But in my opinion, those people are wrong. They are wrong because we've had a massive kind of really bad time in the market. Well, let me share something with you that I think most of you will appreciate. Let me just move myself. Let me tell you something here. Let me tell you something. So this is a chart that no one talks about, but this is the total value locked in DeFi platforms. And then you split that into perpetual volume, DEX volumes, and of course, stable coins. So you can see here right now, we are at 158.4 billion, right? 24-hour change is pretty neutral. So why is this important? Well, during 2017, really, nobody tracked any DeFi. This was the ICO bonanza. A lot of the projects were just like ridiculous. This is probably the greatest bull market there's ever been. But 2021, you started to see more decentralized protocols, you know, your Aves, your big protocols, you know, liquid staking, all of these concepts came about, and we topped at $180 billion, right? You could see here, you've got to be some really like completely irrational person to actually think that we have tapped out. In a cycle where we have the Genius Act, we have the Clarity Act. Genius Act is governing mainly stable coins. Clarity Act is governing specifically two types of crypto regulation, one for the SEC and one for the CFC. So if you imagine, this data here is absolutely insane. This is 2021, and this is right now. We peaked at around 164 billion in DeFi. This number here is going to top 180 billion by a factor of 3 to 4 times even. So if you're telling me the bull market is over, we haven't even tapped 2021 levels of liquidity. Like, DeFi platforms don't have the same TVL as they did back in 2021. So when you consider the growth or the network effect, when you consider institutional adoption, when you bloody consider the ability for a project to raise over $70 million without any questions being asked, no questions at all. And this is why I think a lot of people don't really understand crypto right now. And that's largely to do with shitcoins, which are eventually gonna run. But in order of magnitude, it's gonna be the big boys, and then of course mid caps, whatever. So this is a classic example of Cecile here with the question: is the bull run over? Should we start selling or go back to poverty? None of that. So if you're not taking this information I'm giving you, then it's going to be very hard for you to actually avoid any emotional, any kind of emotional feelings like this, because for you not to interpret this data, it's very difficult for you then just to sit there with a bunch of shit coins and then think, okay, when am I making my 100x? Because the chances are you're going to burn out, you're going to sell. But most people don't look at the data. There are two vital pieces of data. One is the breakout of the total 2. That is going to include Ethereum and the rest of the big caps. When that actually breaks out, there is no retesting. It goes vertical. And that's on the verge of doing 2021 ATH blasting through. We have actually equaled it. We haven't smashed it yet. But this is the key metric. Currently, we are sitting here, and we sat way above this level back in 2021. So to answer your question, the bull market is just starting on its last leg up. If you give me previous comparisons, well, we've got the data from the last cycle. So there you have it. That's what's happening, and that's exactly how you need to prepare. Of course, I'll go back to your questions, Patu. I think I've answered that one. Do you think gaming like Corpo will come back? It's a very interesting question, and I do believe, yesterday's performance of cryptocurrency, especially low caps, it's not what I would like to happen. It's what the charts is telling us. I have a bit of Corpo. So from this perspective, is there any life in it? Can this do really well in a gaming season? Well, the trading is happening, and it's at $6 million market cap with a 1 million trading volume. This is a low cap, high risk, high reward play. And when liquidity returns to the market, I don't see why in a gaming season, Corpo World doesn't actually go and have a bit of a run. The team has been working. So, they've got stuff like, NFTs, AI agents. The thing is, I don't have a problem with the low caps. I have a problem with the trust in all low caps, if that makes sense. And, if that's all you've got and you're waiting, you're going to wait a long time and you're going to be very stressed. So I would say build a portfolio that reflects your risk to reward management. Don't ignore your 5-10x's, because that's exactly what you need in order to keep pulling money out of the market. And then you play this game where you start taking low cap plays. Meme coins have been super strong. You have 1 or 2 3 or 4 meme coins in your portfolio. Gaming is at the bottom right now. No better time to actually buy gaming projects when the market is so depressed for gaming sector. So I would say I can't see why Corpo wouldn't do well, to be honest. But at the same time, it's anyone's guess where the market goes from here. Sushi Swap, can it do well? I mean, look, it really depends on good TVL, but it really does depend on what type of volume you get. Still on Binance, and some of these are really, Coinbase as well. It should do. I mean, look, it's undervalued anyway. Put it mildly, because the volume right now it's about $31 million, and that's with a combination of Binance and Coinbase. So not one of my hot ones, unless you owe this from the last cycle, or you bought this at the lows, where you could get your explosive gain here. Anyone's guess in terms of excess. But yeah, there are better DEXs to concentrate on that I think will have more relevance, in my opinion, with a similar market cap. I think you could do better, unless you've been in it for a while. Well, 5 to 10x, I can't see why it would do that. If you look at the market cap, ATH market cap, this got up to, last cycle, it was crazy. This was about 3 billion plus. So the fact that, a 10x here would actually only be around 1.4 billion, it's an interesting watch, but it's just not sexy enough, in my opinion. We're going to see a lot of madness in Q2. Yeah, 100%. I think the game's starting to stretch into those kind of time frames. I do agree with you. Yellow, my brother, how are you, man? Hope you're well. Thank you for being here, brother. Appreciate it. Close your ears to negative comments. We can't. Yeah, I mean, I think the negative ones need to also hear this. I'm a firm believer that, this week we've had all kinds of news about public discourse. We should be able to argue our points articulately. And, I think, you absolutely point out a real thing there. But I do appreciate that comment. That's beautiful, brother. Much love. Oliver said XRP. Cave gave us another one here. QAce, is it? How do you say it? QAce. Check that QAce. Yeah, it's probably on Dex. I'll come back to that one. Guys, smash a like. This is a chirp DePIN microcap on Sui. What do I think? I haven't actually come across it. Actually, I've seen it. It's been a while. Chirp on chirp token, I think it is. On Sui. Yeah. So I used to think before that, when I saw this, DePIN ecosystem that powers RWA. I have actually seen this several times. If we look at the chart, it had a nice little push, 7 days. Sorry, back in June, and then right now the chart is consolidating. Not a lot of volume in Sui, if I'm being honest. Sui volume is incredibly, not a lot of things flowing there, but whale rotation will come. This is what's fully diluted. Max supply is fully diluted right now on circulating supply is the $2 million market cap. But it is interesting. I would definitely say Sui plays, because this is on DEX. I believe this is on KuCoin, Gate, Cetus. Yeah, good exchanges. Not bad at all. When I first saw this was on DEX. But yeah, good risk to reward. I think if Sui gets a decent run, which it's going to do, you best believe stuff like this will do very well as well. Let's give them a follow. The thing is, there are a few of these on Sui, the low cap, kind of low cap gems over there. Self-sustaining economy, 80% flows directly back into creating new, richer beacons. 20% strengthen the churn lockup pool. Who's following them? Do we have Mr. Labs or any of those? I always like to actually check. Yeah, so they're on Walrus to offer this DePIN. So yeah, good one to Pat, a good shout. Like I said, it came on my alpha screener a while back, but I haven't really followed it since then. So if we look at gaming, right? So let's have a look at the gaming category. There's a category. Let's go gaming. DeFi. So the next question is, what about Launchpads? Now, Vince, honestly, the space has changed to a degree. And I have been thinking about Launchpads. You know, you had your old classic Launchpads, but one of the things that's going to supersede Launchpads for me are infrastructures, especially within gaming. So if you look at GameFi here, and you look at market caps, I don't even know why GeoNet is in this. Let's specifically, let's go back to the categories. And let's go search gaming. Let's look at gaming marketplace as well. Just kill these. System out here. Right, where we at? So you've actually got several projects with their own kind of their own marketplaces. You've got other launch pads as well. In my opinion, there's only one launch pad to be able to take advantage of, but it has to be the blue chip launch pad compared to all of the other different categories within the launch pad. So you will get an explosion because a lot of new projects come towards the end of the cycle. I'll get to that question. That's a very good question. But I would say in general, gaming is on its backside. Few of the gaming projects that did really well right now, just look for signs of life, right? So look for signs of life. But you may be surprised. Ape Chain's coming up. Beam is my favorite infrastructure play. I think Immutable X is just, it's just, I can't believe it's twice the market cap of Beam. I think Ronin will do well because that's the way the Ronin always does well. I think Prime at a $2 level is not bad at all. B3, no other base gaming project came on my base tracker this week than B3. The chart looks horrendous, but I've just been getting people DCAing and money flow increasing. XAI is a potentially solid one that can do really well. You have 88 and then an $8 million market cap. Gonzilla now Zilla Games, I think that's also very interesting. The Guns token is superbly interesting, because what's happening with Guns, it's automatically suppressed. So to answer that question, I think gaming has to be, for any self-respecting investor, you got to be contrarian about gaming. And for me, the moment you take interest in the gaming kind of platforms, because no one's actually looking at gaming right now. So that would be the kind of the thesis to go. But if you really want a gaming launchpad, because that was your question. Sorry, I just wanted to use it as a kind of update for everybody on gaming. But if you want to have exposure and you feel like launchpads are going to come back, for me, it's a little bit more risky. But you have to consider CeDeFi S Fund at these prices. You just have to consider that. There's no logic to it. You know, if we look at the chart, by the way, expect firework aerodrome very soon. But let's have a look at USDT. Look at the CeDeFi chart, man. We are heading lower. So that tells me something, which is it's very close to its bottom. There was no reason to buy CeDeFi fund. But if you look at historical performance, specifically within bull markets or good market conditions, CeDeFi does absolutely rip. So what you have here is, I mean, I don't know if that will ever happen again. This $18 wick, that's insane. But if you're considering a launchpad today as an investor, which I don't think anyway, you better buy. It's probably better to not to wait for the launchpad. But the whales will always stake, because there will be projects that come out at the for, you know, the height of the bull market. But look at its price range. You know, that is the setup. So if you know, launchpads are not in my not in the top of my tree right now. You know, if I had $1,000 to invest, I would not go and put it into a launchpad. However, if you're going to get a launchpad, you might as well get the blue chip launchpad, and for gaming specifically, and that's CeDeFi. Any specific reason, Jaylon said, any specific reason why the market is dumping? Yes, plenty. And the main reasons are basically we have two options, right? We either pump into FOMC or we dump into FOMC. Now, so far today, it's been the latter from yesterday's analysis. But what we can look at is BTC price. Let's have a look at BTC here. So this is the W formation that I gave you a week ago. And I remember the time when one of the brothers came up and said to me, yo, somebody said that there's head and shoulders. And I said, yes, there is head and shoulders, but it's inverse. So what you got to look at is from this bullish move to this breakout, there's a lot going on in the BTC chart. Well, let's simplify it. So we broke out of this, and we broke out of this. So this was no mean feat. So let me turn that line into a white line as well for you to see, right? So Bitcoin has done, and now what we have is a brand new trend line. All right. So this is our brand new trend line here. And if you take a confluence between all of these different moves, you would say there are two possibilities. I'm going to go with my ultimate kind of understanding of this chart. So I said to the team, we're going to come up to 117, right? And we got up to 168 and some change. So let's put a line over there. This is where we got up to. That white line got rejected. The RSI is oversold, right? If you see the RSI is oversold. So what I see happening is this. We can come back and test this trend line or test this support line before a continuation. Now, of course, there are those that are saying, and there is a macro reason as well. There's a liquidity bit here. We could slightly dip below and then eventually test the new all-time high. But the fact that we got through this kind of trend and we broke it and we literally completed the inverse head and shoulders, it's okay to come back down and retest. Now, this week is monumental. So some of the reasons why Bitcoin could fall further is because it's heavy sell the news that's inevitably gonna flood the market. But if you look at our 90-day plan, we're not looking at the market right now. The earliest we probably turn fully bullish is around October for altcoins. And rather than the Bitcoin price, I probably look at this chart as being really more significant and more important to us. And the reason for that is when this chart breaks out, right, historically in the bull market, this is the total, this is total 2. So everything excluding Bitcoin. But when these break out, they go into bull market mode. What you have here is, look, people think, yeah, 2021 was a plain sailing, a smooth ride. No, it wasn't. Look at the total crypto market cap here in, similar periods. August 2021. And we ended up by November 14th, the total 2 top there. And right now we're coming up to this. So we poked out. I'll show you here. Look at this. We snuck our heads out of that 2021 level. Guys, this is so obvious, honestly. So we may even come back here, but this doesn't really matter because the total 2 is, it's just staying in that pocket. So if we do come back and we continue this, you could see, you could see this coming back a little bit, extend this, and then there's an order block there, and then we could be heading back up. So I really wouldn't sweat the total 2. Once the total 2 breaks out, trust me, this is the most important chart for altcoins. I don't know why people make it complicated. The total 3, total 7, total 29, it's all BS. We need the total 2 to break out and do this, right? Even in 2024, when we were just trending for a while, nothing happened in the market. If you look at the total 2, this was a massive consolidation, and this led to a crazy run. Right? This price action here was mad. So if you look at that, once it broke out, it went solid. If you go back to 2021, total 2 breaks out here. And we never look back, really. The total 2 doesn't really come back and test this. Once it broke out of here, you see, we had the first moves early in the bull market. But really, you saw the second leg. And again, you've got this period here where we consolidated forever, but this was like a year before the bull market. So really, this is not the best measurement. The best measurement to where we are right now is this. Is this period between, probably say, bottom came May 2021. So May was the bottom, and it kind of like hit, kind of tested that again in June, and then back in the end of July, and it broke out and really never slowed down till November 11th to the November 14th, and then the total two crashed. And then what we're seeing right now, is we consolidated here in November, started moving up. We topped in December. I think round about the first, second week of December was the top for the total two. And then we crashed. Now, if you look at where we are right here, this is just set it up to be a complete insanity, honestly. This could potentially go absolutely insane. You go bear market low, all-time high, back to this accumulation phase. We still have, that's how much we have left in the market. This market comfortably, I mean, I would probably say 5 trillion on the total two, to about 6 trillion. This whole entire area is possible. So we're not there yet. So yeah, I hope that answers your question. Boom. And so that's one of the specific reasons as we head into FOMC. Another reason is the Fed's, the Fed's going to release a lot of data, right? So there's things like the Fed dot plot, and so I'm going to explain that to you as well. So a couple of things we need to watch. Of course, we look at Bitcoin dominance and USDT dominance as really important. Both of them are at a critical level. But really, the question that needs to be answered right now is what's going to happen on Wednesday? What's going to happen with rate cuts? What's going to happen with all of that? And the answers are a lot. There's a lot of different reasons as to why this would happen. But historically speaking, they are going to announce a bunch of 25 basis points. Now, if I go to, so let's quickly go to Discord here. This is also another reason, right? FOMC participants, particularly the Fed members, will assess the appropriate monetary policy for the next couple. They do this every quarter. So we're not just only going to have an FOMC, we are going to have a Fed dot plot, and that's important because what it does is, all eyes will be on, and this is why I think a lot of people in the market don't really get the overall picture, because it's complicated enough for people to find and understand this. But the Fed's future projections, or the dot plot, will also influence how many times they cut, how many cuts, and how deep they cut. So that chart that I just showed you is basically, it's an anonymous chart. So each member of the Fed, we don't know who they don't name them. It's an anonymous chart, right? So each one of those dots, the last one that we looked at was back in July. Each one of these dots will represent how hawkish or dovish a Fed member is. So dots higher, expected higher rates. Dots lower dots, they expect more cuts. Clusters of dots consensus. And of course, it gives us a central path for the policy. And the real takeaway here is the basically understanding their future and what they release. Of course, back in July, we had releases for 2025. And there's something different here, guys. The big difference is when they released this data, they were still looking at tariff data specifically and seeing how that shows up on the economy. What shattered that completely on its head is the job market. Nobody expected the level of revisions that the labor market has produced and likely continue to produce. You know, the world's largest economy just produced 22,000 jobs, and the minimum to avoid recession is 80,000 jobs. So you can see how off they are. And then the annual revision was minus 1 million jobs. So everybody's going to look at the 25 basis points that we're going to get. But a release of this is also going to be critical. And this shows you, look at this. Released June 18th, 2025. And what you have here is the level of dots. But then what you have is the inflation percentage, right? Is it a hike? Is it a cut? And this goes not only for 2025, we're looking at 2026, right? There's their projection, 2027, and then long run. And that's what we're going to get released this week. So it is complicated. And I'd like to think each and every one of you can take advantage of the idea that you just don't buy things because of Altseason. When Altseason's going to wreck you, you're going to get tons of shit low caps, and you're going to avoid buying. Like, for example, I was screaming, guys, go effing buy Save for 13 cents back in April. But everybody was afraid. This is it. You know, I hate crypto. Nothing's going to happen. It's double in price. It is what it is, man. We can only put the information out. I cannot make you buy or sell, my brothers. Hash AI is decent. I remember me and my man Zilla finding this and then tagging me one night. I think we got into it on the early pump. This was like a day one launch last year. But it does have a TVL, right? And it's a decent DePIN project. Now, of course, DePIN has done nothing, $30 million in market cap. You know, another one that's similar, Meshware. Is it, what's the ticker? I forgot the ticker, man. Meshware, I think it was. Anyway, so yeah, Hash AI is decent. I think Alex Becker is still in it, maybe. Volume is non-existent. TVL is decent. And of course, these guys have bought tons of NVIDIA graphics cards. And, you know, this was the hype of the DePIN mania last year. So narratives go hot and cold. UAE facility initial setup. Hashmine. ASIC miners are already live. So these mans are in the desert, man. So yeah, it's one of those. I mean, again, it goes into that category of risk, high reward. Any idea on optimism? Optimism is a layer 2, and it actually powers the base network, essentially. On the optimism stack, this layer 2, layer 2s are a funny thing. Now that linear is also in the competition, I don't really have, and this is a market cap chart rather than price. Price will look completely different. So in terms of technology, in terms of speed, in terms of stable coins, you can't knock it, right? Nor can you knock Arbitrum. None of these. Only problem is we are, we need multipliers, right? So I do think that they will have a pump ultimately, but I'm not really, I don't know. Something is taking me off the layer 2s. And of course, you've got some inflation there as well. So yeah, optimism will get a pump because of the institutional interest. But is it a top of the list priority? It's not really the it's not really one of my main projects to really get excited about. But it will do well. I mean, it does power, like I said, the Coinbase ecosystem. But at that kind of market cap, to be honest, probably better layer 2s, like say in and around that area. Some dry powder, absolutely. In case we dump, I think that is, Steve, you are spot on, brother. What is this? The crypto coins go up. Gala coin. Gala, if you wanna buy Gala, I'll give you something better. Go get yourself some Beam. Gala Games is at $700 million market cap. This did so well last cycle, but yeah, I wouldn't buy this. It's a mess. Instead, I'll probably get Beam, a layer 1 with lots of money behind, smaller market cap around $400 million, good treasury. So yes, Gala was just like, it made its generational move. Again, could this pump again? Yeah, sure, but nothing about it makes me excited. Yeah, Pat certifies. You see, the problem with the Launchpads is you just got to wait for 100 years to be able to do anything with them. Brother said, what about Joss? Guys, smash the like and of course share the content if you can. What about added what? Launchpad token into their ecosystem? This could be potentially a low cap gem. It's called Swap SW. It's on next screener. I have no idea what this is, brother. So it's difficult. I mean, it is a lot of contracts straight away out of pump fund. And yeah, $2 million market cap. This is highly 60A. J Money, actually, maybe that's not what you're referring to. Swampad, SWP. So SWP, let's have a look at SWP. AI agents, Launchpad. Yeah, we'll probably take a look. Yeah, Rio, I spoke about Rio in the last live stream. Like I said, Rio is big on X, $30 million market cap. I mean, listen, RWA tokens, there's going to be those clear winners, those big infrastructure plays like like Ondo Finance and those type of RWA projects. And then there's going to be a bunch of smaller RWA projects that do very well. Vince said the new type of launchpad is pump.fun. Of course, Virtuals, Cookie DAO, those fill out the, especially the AI agents. The old pads have been silent and the narrative has been rallying. Yeah, 100% agree with you, bro. What's a good 100K portfolio? A good 100K portfolio would be probably Tau, probably Say. Say's a good yardstick. Let me see Tau, how many Taus you could get for that. If Tau comes back a little bit, I'd buy a ton of this stuff, man. People don't really understand, so I'd probably try and maybe acquire 50 of these, to be honest. 50 to 100 Tau should set you. That takes about 30 grand. And then I would probably buy some Say at this moment in time because of the institutional interest. The fact that Say is now fully pushing out the Chainlink oracles. Yeah, I'd probably stick 20 in here. That takes you to 50, right? Let's put 20,000 into Say. That gets you a nice 63,000 Say. That goes to $3 to $5. You're winning, right? And then, so that would be like kind of top plays. And then in addition to that, I'd buy some with Promise. In fact, actually, I would still be interested in buying this because it's at $1 billion market cap. Aerodrome Finance. If Aerodrome Finance gets to, let's say, comes down to 90 cents or something, I would go and put 20. Regardless, I'd put 20 grand into it. Right, get 15, 20,000 of this. You have now super secured your portfolio, and you still have the best part of 30K. I'd buy some good meme coins. I'd buy some Toshi. Right, I'd buy some Toshi because I know $250 million of Toshi is going to give you exposure to base. This is a brilliant chart. I'd stick maybe 5 grand into Toshi, 5 grand into Kokoro, between Kokoro, a few others as well, like I like Sea Dog, I like Keycat as well on base. Lemmy the Cat's a good one that you could buy for like a couple of grand. And then of course I'd move on to gaming and I would add Beam. So Beam would be another 10K without even thinking about it. I'd buy some Beam because Beam is at $382 million. It's not a shit coin. And when gaming season starts, this is going to have a lot of attraction. So now we've got AI, we've covered gaming, we've covered a layer one, and we've covered the some of the low caps. And yeah, the rest, man, I'd keep aside like say 10, 20 grand of that, put 80 into the market, and then dollar cost average into other good projects. There's so many of them. Epic Chain's a good one. Peaq is another good one. I think Aether will come back and run hard. So yeah, 100K, you could do a lot of damage. I think that helps, man. Chainlink, Solana, Pro, Vince, this is solid. Cookie DAO, that's a good 100K. Yeah, Ondo, I didn't even mention Ondo. Ondo will probably get about 20K allocation into that. But then, yeah, those are all solid projects. I think Chainlink goes north of $100 this cycle. Solana, that's the only one we disagree on because I wouldn't put money into Solana. I'd buy Arweave with that money because it's already at a good market cap and it's fully diluted. Why would I park so much money into a 3x? I'd definitely aim for like a 10, 15, 20x with Arweave. But yeah, Chainlink can be an anchor into your portfolio. I prefer to go sub 5 billion. So Ondo, Tau, Say, all of those are absolutely going to run very hard. When it comes to Solana, XRP, Even Chainlink, I think this cycle it's too late, brother. It's too late. You've got to buy the next best rotation. So, Solana is now considered to be a tier 1 rotation from the institutional money flow. So if money comes out of Bitcoin, it goes into Ethereum, then it's going to go to Solana, and yeah, those are massive. Yo, in Delta, my sister, hope you're well. DXB family's good. What is this, brother? NetX token prediction. I've never heard of it. Never heard of it. 20%. What is this? Volume 700K. I've never heard of this. So let's have a look at this. You unleashing the future of economic network. Yeah, I can't really predict something like this, brother. It's going to be a tough one. Are you aware of AI tech? Rocas, yes, sir. Are you aware of my channel? Have you been to my channel before? Can you give me a like? Can you follow my channel? And then go to YouTube, write AI tech price prediction. And you're going to see about 5-10 videos from me. So yes, thank you very much. I am aware. Patriot, look at Case. Go to rival EMDR. My gem guy. That is my gem hunter right there, man. Case. Wrapped eat. Jeez. The come up is super solid, brother. The come up is solid. Case out. Yeah, 21 million already. Case dynamics. You know what? Patriot is following them, so I'm going to follow them and see if we can track them. Yeah, it's again, it's one of those smaller cryptocurrencies. Diverse application scenarios for AI agents. We'll take a look at that one, brother, for sure. Thanks for sharing. Yo, quantum computing in the building, and it's awesome. That is a link up. Dennis Burkham in the building, everyone. My brother from a different mother. While Cliff has been away, he's been diligently working to bring down his own BTC holdings by cracking the Bitcoin code, courtesy of quantum computing and Dynex, brother. Please don't do that. Big shout out to Cliff, man. When we're gonna have you on the channel, bro? Good to see you. And let's have a look. Any thoughts on Sapien? Oh, I see it on the trackers. I haven't really looked into it, but it does occasionally pop up on volume charts because it does have a very good volume. Chart looks decent. It's on base as well. I think what I've seen, like I said this the other day on the live stream, have you noticed a lot of base projects have a similar design tokenomics? Honestly, like literally, they come out with 250 million out of a billion, and 14 days performance. This is what I was saying. I've seen it on multiple trackers with volume alerts. 99%, literally doubled in the last 2 weeks, and decent name as well. The name is important. But there's a lot, like AI is mental. Powering AI with human data. Perhaps is a little bit different. Homo sapiens. Name's a giveaway. Data collection. So a specific utility within AI. I don't know if they have. I'm sure they came out of the base. They have base grant, marketplace, solutions. They do have real solutions here: 3D, 4D, image, video, audio, expert reasoning. Transcribe clinical notes. I mean, look, at the end of the day, bro, it's kind of like that utility has to be autonomous lanes. What are we doing here? Obstacles, pedestrians. So we do have a bunch of kind of like, I can't see any examples. That would only be my concern, but there is something in there. There is something in there for sure. So yeah, that's for you, Hunter. Vince, you got no towel at all. Listen, everyone, I'm telling you now, in another 5 years, we're going to see towels sitting around 20, 30, 40K. That happens with the halving. I'm not saying you are here and early to Bitcoin. Subnets haven't really done much. And there is a halving coming. But it's just, it's clicking all the dots in terms of a long-term investment. We got a visit from South Africa. Big up, Bafana, the Springboks. Peace and love to you too, brother. Hope you well. And of course, the dip. Yeah, we're gonna have the opportunity to get into a few good plays. But I would say we'd probably wait mainly for say an Epic. We did a crazy, amazing portfolio review. I think you are a shining example of someone who's looking at their portfolio actively and reconstructing it. And I love that about you, brother. Keep up the good work. We'll have some more private chats. And yeah, again, Epic and say you've already built up a decent portfolio with good risk and reward. If we get an opportunity, great. The prices are pretty low for altcoins. If you put in 1,000 or 500 in the next 2 days, then you get another wick. What I would do is go to your exchange and stagger your orders, fill them up. Go to realistic prices that you don't think the price is going to dip to, within reason, of course. Where is the support for say? I think I did publish a chart today in our group. Take advantage of those. And you might be sleeping when these prices are hit. So more often than not, I've had so many occasions where Mexi never hits my limit order. So I'll have it sometimes on 2 different exchanges. If that even makes sense. So yeah, it's important to do that. But I think what we've done, and I'm so proud in our community, is that we've taken time to really, really treat our portfolios as a business. Because yeah, we talk about 1 million coins. Majority of them are a trade. When they pump, you sell 2x, 3x, whatever, 100%. It doesn't matter. You sell, and then you keep your core. So if you win, if you're leveraging, let's say you go 10x on 1,000, that's 10,000 position, right? And you go and double that. You come back, you keep your trading balance, and then you take the extra 1,000, and then you go and put that onto Tau or say or whatever conviction that you have, and then you go back and do that again. The same with meme coins. If your meme coin does a quick 3-5x, take the money and then go somewhere else with it. Some meme coins will go nuts. Apologies, brother. It was Julius OS. Big up to Julius Agahawa, man. Julius OS. Why is that sound? Julius OS. Sounds familiar, man. Oh, Julia. Not Julius. I'm thinking of Julius Agahawa, man, as a brilliant Nigerian player back in the day. This is what is this? What is this? JOS. I like to look at the sentiment because it helps the community catch any madness. Money extraction scam alert. Same team wallet that was selling JOS. Supply had big holding of Orist. Now they launched the Launchpad token, and again, team holds dozens of this. Is that so? Because here at DXB, we like to get to the bottom of things. One of the things we're going to do here is utilize this expensive bit of kit called Nansen.ai, and we're going to see if those scam allegations are true. Is there more smoke in the fire here? What's going on? So first of all, the chart is absolutely dog shit, right? This thing here is not sexy at all. But we don't want that. We don't care about that because sometimes charts do bottom out and they take their time. So what we want is balance and price over time. So what we have here is a gradual rise of the balance. And of course, balance keeps going up, price keeps coming down. So that's accumulation. Okay. Mexi wallet, the next thing we know is the Mexi wallet has dumped some tokens. It could well be that they're maybe running out of their existing tokens. We don't know. We don't know what the case is. 7 days, 6 million. I guess that could be normal stock. And then, of course, this wallet here, 700K Julia OS, distribution score. Supply, it's not bad. I mean, this is sadly, a lot of projects are not decentralized. So when I look at the distribution of tokens, what we see in here is 37% held by the top 100 wallets. So unless your risk appetite is through the roof, and another reason why the price obviously didn't perform well is because you had the whales, the good old whales, getting rid of 12 million tokens. You know, so that is the picture for Julia OS. You are buying something that is highly dangerous, but could also make you money. How does it make you money? I have no idea because these charts in crypto are sometimes, you know, unless you know the community, unless you're in the Telegram, Inside Alpha, they all look the same. Now, what I try to do as of late, I mean, I'm in a lot of alpha groups now and talking to some devs as well. I'm doing 18 hours of research, crypto content, community updates, and it's even hard for me. So I have no reason to recommend you to go put $1,000 or $2,000 into this project unless you got in here and you are marginally up. And HB is my brother, so I would say stay well clear of this. You know, Sapien might be better. We've seen a couple of few of these from Cavemen that could be better. This one is $1.2 million, 1.24 fully diluted. Profile score. Mexi, L-Bank, XT. Integrating Julia program into decentralized systems. Fuck. AI machine learning workflows, blah, 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 blah. Nah, man. Keep your money, brother. Keep your money. And if it does well, it does well. But we can't waste money at this time of the cycle. Everything has to be checked. Yo, Lewis. So what am I saying about dog with hat? I've had more success trading with up and down, and to be honest, it kept me going during the tough times. And just to prove to you, so I've got, you see this? This is my list of cryptocurrencies that I trade, and you will find here dog with hat. I know these charts like the back of my hand. I'm going to show you what I was doing with WIF. Should be quite up as well. WIF, yeah, it's just next to Neo Protocol. You can see WIF has been, look, price has been disappointing. But when WIF breaks out of the upper resistance, it's going to go nuts. WIF is going to run to about $2, and it will potentially even go $5 or more. But this is the, you see how I traded that one there? This is why I always say, like, people need to look at charts. I traded the breakout with a VWAP multiple times. I traded this breakout. I traded this breakout here. I shorted it from around this level here all the way to these lows. So I think WIF is a brilliant meme coin. It's highly liquid. For spot, I'm not so sure. Like I said, I've eaten this thing alive on the futures, but right now, this is the kind of current state of play. It's below 90 cents. I still think WIF will be brilliant as a trade. If you've been in WIF from the early days and you made some money in it and you still have a balance, yes. I wouldn't park spot money into this. There are better meme coins at the lower market cap that you can buy. Man, this is a brilliant trade. We may see WIF just go, you know, once they break above, I think above $1 anyway. But even if we come down here, WIF to ATH is a 5x, man. Can you imagine, like, you know, I wouldn't say just trade it, but I'll take it as a trade rather than a spot on that one. Bro said, if all else fails, I'm heading back to the jungles of Sumatra. DXB, bro, what are your thoughts on Cookie DAO? Yeah, I think I talked about Cookie before, bro. I do hold Cookie. And Cookie USDT, Binance listed. Chart is beaten down, and there is inflation on Cookie. But these are good levels to scoop some up, to be honest. You know, there's a very good levels to buy Cookie DAO for sure. And I would say, I mean, this is a crazy, crazy discount, man. It's mad. Cookie has given us an opportunity, but because it's on Binance, once it kicks off, it will be really, really hard. It will really, really go nuts, in my opinion. A lot of people are saying that the inflation will kill it. And so far, I mean, there was a lot of inflation, to be honest, but not as bad as people make it out to be. In terms of, let's see where we are with the. Go to the 4-hourly. So right now, the price on the 4 hours is below the 3 hours as well. So the price is bearish for now. Again, we can look at SUI. Some of these are perpetuals, but everything is below their, average volume weighted price. So there you go, brother. I do like me a bit of Cookie. You are welcome, Rokas. Avocado chart. Bro said it's a sleeper. Let's have a look at the ticker first. Avocado sold. I can't find it, bro. What's the ticker? Yeah, if they're not on avocado, yeah. I think I got you now. Got you. Avocado. What a name. Avocado DAO. Avocado DAO can't be it, surely. Let me know which one it is, because this is a crazy chart. It can't be making $48 in the last 24 hours. 100%. Avocado coin. We'll look at another one because it can't be avocado down. That shit is dead. And it can't be this. Or is it? Avocado coin. It can't be this as well. This is mad. It can't be that as well, and it can't be the first one for sure. So we'll give that one a miss. Let it sleep. AI Tech Award. Yo, Roberto. What's going on, brother? Hope you're well. And Omar said Casper versus Say from this point onwards, which is the better upside. Hoping the smart contracts and the tier 1 listing can make Casper move. Omar, I agree with you. I am getting tired, but because I had a generational entry, doesn't mean I don't speak facts about the comparison. I think Say has the definitely Say has the hotter narrative with the announcement of major announcement actually with both the US government with Chainlink. And I just feel like, Casper needs to move. Like this is what Say is doing, right? So data streams allow Say to become, and it's not just on Say, it's on every single project on Say, right? This is a big deal because what this prepares them for is the US government partnership with the Department of Commerce, data that's going to be integrated into Say. While I agree with you, the major things I'm waiting for on Casper is the smart contracts, it's a tier 1 listing, and that sounds more appetizing in the sense that when it comes, it's going to be a storm. Now, to counter that, Say is making its moves. So it is a very good question. Unless you got into Casper super early and you're up right now, and listen, it's very cheap. But there's that question mark of when, right? When is it going to happen? Where is it going to be in this cycle? People are getting anxious. So while I continue to build a decent position on, say, to be honest, I scooped up a decent bag at around 13 and a half cents, that kind of level. And my Casper bag, I've not touched it now for many years. I don't even look at the Casper, the holdings, and it's still up. So, you know, I want to be honest to people. If you're buying Casper now, you are going to wait for smart contracts and a tier 1 listing. If you buy, say, now, you have those already. So you make what's best for you. I hold both, and I want to be honest with you. You know, that's I hold both, but this stuff that Casper is coming up with, you know, I don't think you guys can see this. This is not a drill. This is this is all happening, and I think they will run very hard. I do believe that, because initially this was built for DEX speed, right? For centralized exchanges and decentralized exchanges to run a near perfect transactions with speed. So what they need to do now is bring developers to be able to build, and in order to do that, they needed chain links, data streams for every single project on Say. So that's going to be important. Bro, send me a DM. Oh, I'll check it out, man. We'll have a yeah, definitely, bro. 100%, brother. I hope you're. Are you still in the US? Do let me know. Bro said that the Tau chart looks unbelievable. Yeah. With you as a fundamental analyst, what do you like? What do I like about Tau is probably what you're asking me, bro. So think of this way. Tau is, so data is going to become, you know, the ability for us to own data, decentralized AI infrastructure is going to be big. Now, when you think of Tau as a tech stock, right? So when you look at the stock market, you know, take the valuation of NVIDIA. I'm not saying Tau's an NVIDIA, but take that. When you couple that with the scarcity, the halvings, when you couple that with the new age gold is information, right? And AI, that is no doubt, you know, computational power, decentralized AI. I think over the next, I'm not planning for Tau just for this cycle. I think long term, when we look back to the next bull market, for example, when we look back at this bull market, the true essence and the value of AI in a decentralized way. Think about it. Wall Street is going tokenized through Ethereum and Ondo, right? Mostly. But there's also tons of other projects that are doing real world assets on chain. We're seeing government data now going on chain. So what do I like about Tau? If you've missed kind of like Bitcoin, I think if you've missed Ethereum back in the day, I think it makes a lot of sense to look at the asset with a halving that is proof of work, and that can be staked as well. This is the other thing that people don't realize about Tau. You can stake your Potenza Tau. So the scarcity is going to be, it's going to get better over the years. And I think from November onwards, they're going to go from 7,400 daily emissions to, they're going to halve it. So after they halve that, the daily emission gets less. The true power cycle for even AI in general, this cycle has been amazing, but I think it will be next. So I'm looking at Tau as a long-term commodity, 100 billion plus market cap and growing, and in the top 10 of cryptocurrencies. Because if Bitcoin is the store of value, Ethereum is the world decentralized smart contract platform, then you're going to need the world's decentralized AI. And for me, it's a no-brainer, bro. I hope that that helps, man. Yeah, show some love, bro. Oh man, listen, man, we ain't got enough likes, bro. People are greedy with a little touch. Yo, Avantis has run so hot, bro. I did cover this at the start of the show, but it's absolutely flying. Appreciate you, brother. No worries. Yes, Talbot is better than avocado. Thank you so much, bro. I think you and I have been in Talbot for a very long time as well. We've been in it for a while. Let's see, Talbot. Wrapped teeth, yeah. Let's have a look. It's at a decent level. We could see this is support level here. That is close by. Honestly, when I did if you're in the Discord now, you can just put Talbot. Look at the buy alert that I did for this one, man. I wish I would have bought more, but that's what you wish every time. It's pretty neat. Resistance there. Looking at the daily, if we break the support level, I could see maybe one last test around this 25, 20 area as a one last tip for Talbot. Is the only trading volume. Yeah. My brother Peter in the building. Tau and AI projects haven't seen their bull run. Absolutely. Real sleeper. All we've seen with AI so far has just been the pop of that first initial wave, and some of the projects weren't good enough. But over time, we're going to be killing it on decentralized AI, where no centralized entity literally own it like they do in the stock market. Illy's Crypto Gems, what's happening, my brother? Good to see you. Back in the UK a few months before heading back to the US. Busy man, bro. Them air miles are racking up. I think that's, Peter, I couldn't agree with you more. I think Tau is going to be, I don't really, to be honest, this cycle, based on what's going on, I think a lot of us will make crazy money, life-changing money, whatever that means. But I would highly encourage you to please put some money to the side for the bear market, because you will be free financially next time round. Like literally, this is a cheat code, because if we go back to from ICOs to the COVID cycle with stimulus, and then we had DeFi, this is the adoption cycle in the sense that regulation, and we're just starting to see that the true adoption cycle for crypto is going to be the next one. And we don't even know what the continuation between Bitcoin and the rest of the market is going to be, because from the from the gold ETFs in, I think it was 2004, gold went on an 8-year bull market. Bitcoin is absolutely doing madness now. Bitcoin is starting to follow shadow shadow gold. So if we do get a bear market where you have real RWA projects, real AI projects, we're looking at a platform now in the Discord that's also launching like meme coins in a fair way. So I think it's going to be crazy for people not to put money into the market in the next dip. Yeah, I covered Peaq. I think Peaq is fantastic. It seems to be over its troubles, and the volume today sits over $20 million, which was actually the first time I looked at it in a few weeks. An absolute shocker. Peter said the staking of proof of work AI, people value long term. Yeah, 100%. Imagine if you could stake Bitcoin. Peaq should be a top project based on the fact that it's a layer one cryptocurrency with real utility. Unfortunately, it just had to reverse back to the initial, almost to the ICO level, get people out, and then go again. Man, man, that's unbelievable, bro. Send us pictures as well. Send us pictures because we'd love to see what you've been up to. You know what's been, you know what's gonna absolutely something that's been bleeding against Bitcoin heavily. Sorry, Ethereum heavily is Neo Protocol. This is another one to watch. Again, this is one that I trade on, regularly in my spare time, and this has performed so badly. But guess what? This is probably the third most used blockchain in the entirety of crypto, which is weird. which is mad, bro. So yeah, Big Ram in the building. Breaking news, brother. Since I can't click it on here. Yeah, no, it's great to see you, brother. Thank you so much. Let's have a look at what Brom is reporting. This is a Kiwi breaking news. 2 million market cap. Yeah, this is pretty much now gone to shit. I don't know what's going on, but let's see what the. Fortunately, I can't actually click on that. Three hours ago, so they're active anyway. If they can deliver one of their projects, and they do have, they've had spaces. So yeah, all good with Kiwi. I don't mind charts going back like this. And yeah, let's see what happens. This is interesting. Bitcoin's going to get seized, like how they did with gold in 1933. Lower value dollar. Wow, bro. Be safe with town, man. They won't be able to. They won't be smart enough to. They won't be smart enough to to go after Tau anyway. But that is a massive point. Lewis said, "Where can I stake my Tau?" But yeah, Peter, that made me laugh, bro. Where can I? So you can stake Tau. I think I've done a video on it. But when staking anyway, you've got to be super careful, and your other long-term plays too, because here's the honest truth, right? So with Tau, all you have to do, I think I published something as well in our group, but there are some really, really good documents that you can look at. For example, staking rewards just gives you a general idea of what to do. Let me go back to I never stake on an exchange. Because all of the exchanges will be asking you to stake and delegate your coins. But I will publish something again, because the reason I'm hesitant even to stake some of my long-term bags is I have become mega kind of self-custody advocate. I don't mind sacrificing some rewards in order not to have any issues of selling, or I don't know. But that's the advice I'm going to give you. I'm actually holding mine. I ain't going to give it to no one. Delegate. I don't give a shit about rewards, because I think I value the asset. And of course, you can value it and stake it. What I would say is do not stake anything unless you are going through official channels. And if you just go to YouTube, staking Tao overview, you can get a lot of good documentation and understanding. Sometimes you can stake it through to, I used to have a lot of staking done, Solana, Ethereum, a lot of the big ones, I used to stake them through Ledger, but I've stopped doing that now as well because we are at the business end of the season. You know, we're about to go into the parabolic phase. I don't trust my sweat tears this cycle with no validator. But definitely, we can look into that for you, brother. Cheaper value for Bitcoin. Give it away. Yeah, man. Pay a fine and go to prison. Bro, the government, honestly, things are getting weird, man. Like, you guys are all seeing the public discourse, you're seeing, you know, that's why it's important for every single one of us to have at least a, not only a community, but a sense of belonging and a sense of financial freedom. We must attain financial freedom. And to do that, I would always say, keep your, what do you call it? Keep the liquid lanes open, you know, go mine USDT. Don't mind doing your 9 to 5. Don't do your night shift. It doesn't really matter. What matters is you are in this game for long enough for you just to walk away one day and start doing your own thing. What else? Let's see if the holders have come down. So true, bro. Putting us in a third world country, potentially. Yeah. I mean, here's the funny thing, man. I was looking at some news about El Salvador today. Would you believe it? And yeah, you're right. It hasn't been the first time the government sacrificed their own people for the agenda. Well, I'd always said 9/11 was the one for me that convinced me that was the case, bro. No, Peter, you're onto a good one, bro. Listen, we can talk about it. At the end of the day, I was looking at things and, you know, imagine how, for example, we are conditioned. Like, for example, if you look at let's have a look at this. So when you look at the bubbles, for example, all you see is red and green, right? So market's not doing well, everything is red, fuck it. Well, it's funny how the next 5 years, like, especially if you've got kids or if you're planning to get married or, you know, planning to have a family, the life we live now will be different for our children, you know, in the future. Information war, and not so much even conspiracy, but the stuff that we see today that's happening. You know, if you're the average guy and you go to work 9 to 5, come home, you're tired. Saturday you go and watch Arsenal or whoever your team is. Some people drink, and that's it. You know, and then you've got corporations fighting for your mind, making you believe shit that you shouldn't believe. You know, personally speaking, me, like, this right and left thing is quite funny because there's shit that I'm conservative about, and there's shit that I'm liberal about. You know what I mean? If you come to my yard and start acting like a fool, you know, I'm pretty conservative. You know, I'll go lock my gates. But the world is moving into a direction where all our differences will always be highlighted by the bigger powers. And the more of your differences that are highlighted, yeah, there are structural problems with stuff like immigration, you know, seeing even my come on, like even my own area in London completely transforming within 30 years. But the way I would think about it is, back in the days when I went to the park and played football, I would play football with like-minded kids, right? But now, not because of only immigration, but because society as a whole is immoral. So you've got guys doing drugs in there. You've got people with knives. That's nothing to do with immigration, by the way. That's Western societies failing to have a level of order that safeguards their citizens. And then on top of that, every few years they go and blow up a country, whether it's Libya, whether it's Afghanistan, whatever country, they'll blow something up. And then you start seeing brown people from those countries. And then all of a sudden they'll be complaining and saying, man, why are we getting refugees? Because you're fucking blowing countries up every few years. Let these people grow. Let them stay their native lands. Every major conflict since World War II directly links to the West. Gaddafi ain't taking no planes and bombing, some country in Europe. It's the other way around. And the sad truth, the reality is Western civilians, citizens, whatever, they think they live in democracy. We're watching genocide on TV. And, most people are afraid to say anything. And then you tell the poor man that the other poor man is different. 2 billionaires don't have color, race, religion, or sex. They're billionaires. They come together in a 5-star, 7-star hotel, big up each other, pat each other on the back. But the poor man is out there looking at the other poor man, because that's what poor people do. They're mentally poor, emotionally poor. Like the case of this Charlie Kirk, right? This kid, 31 years old. You got people coming up to me telling me, yo, this guy was a hero. And I'm thinking, raw, is this guy Nelson Mandela or something? Yeah, you can argue that you believe someone. You believe someone if they believe themselves, right? So it's sad to kill another human being. Who's gonna go and celebrate the death of a guy that you disagree with politically, unless you're an animal? So you feel sorry for, this man's he's got kids. This man's got a wife, he's got beautiful children, and they took him out. Now, for me, I believe in karma. You talk a lot of shit. You talk about things that you have no control of, and then you get found out. But man, the world is sad in general, guys. And this is why we need this shit industry to pay us back and pay us back now. Like, there are some really, really good opportunities. And I think we will be financially free. And hopefully when we all come together and we make that money, you will never see anybody sitting there thinking, shit, I'm more superior or inferior than anyone else. Money unites people. Poverty divides people, Anyway, that's my little rant there, bro. This is so true, bro. Fathers are out of their homes. Women can change. Yeah, man. It's all types of sacrifices. Charlie Kirk also, they used him 100%. 100%, bro. Like, the guy, I mean, like I said, the guy's younger than us, and he's done well for himself, selling his views, which majority of I don't agree with. There's some that I agree with, family first and all of those things. But at the end of the day, they used him, then they discarded. Once they reach the agenda, it's all done. With the exception of, yes, if you're Elon Musk, it's different at that level, right? But I do believe, I genuinely do believe that the richer you get, the more miserable you are, and the more money you have. Today we shared something in our Discord, which was just a random thing. Just go and feed some people, and I think over time people don't realize that we are becoming less human, more desensitized, and hopefully, people like that, man, they need bodyguards, right? Cat's gonna be dealing with the people's coin. Yeah, 100%. I hope so, bro. I hope so, bro. We need crypto to give us the option. And you know what? That's a brilliant point. And I think this is why I always say, guys, anyone, no matter who you are, if you're in crypto for 2 cycles, you become very well off. You can also hit it in 1 cycle. And of course, the cycle goes on, the risks become greater in terms of exiting. So you have to get out with your money. But I hope we get that break, man. I hope we get that break, because there's no other way of the markets. The markets are not going to come down. And I have given you valid reasons as to why these markets will never come down until we break this TVL metric. This is it. This is it. If you are at 158 billion in 2025 and crypto is a million times bigger, more projects, more money, more legality, then the chances are, last cycle, like I said, we topped out at 180 bill for all DeFi TVL. And this time around, we're gonna at least triple that. $5-6 trillion should be on the cards here. At the very least, 4 trillion. So in 4 years, basically, we've not smashed our all-time high of this very important metric. I wouldn't be surprised if they tried to give Elon Musk, a bit of that Charlie, bruv. It's gonna, bro. I was just thinking about that, man. If he gets too big, which he is already, go get some of that. It's sad. I mean, Elon is he's an alien anyway. I mean, I saw a bit of the Putin, and there was a leak with Chinese President Xi and Putin were talking, and there was a hot mic, and they were saying how basically they found something, with the advance of medicine now, you can inject yourself and you can live up to 150 years. And then Putin was like, nah, fuck that. I want to live up to 500 years. Excuse my French, by the way. So these elites, man, it's not only that they're working on whatever they're working on. I think they're also working on, outliving the rest of the people. And every few years, anyway, they say the planet needs a reduction of human beings, because it's so evil. Like, resources are getting less, and therefore the planet. You see that literally on the BBC. The planet can't sustain 10 billion people. What are you going to do? Another world war? And taking a long on gold, that is smart, bro. I don't know if you saw, let's have a look at the USDT dominance. So USDT dominance is coming up. So this is basically, there is a moving average here. Let's Change that. All right, you see, let's see this. Yeah, the 50-day moving average is sitting right here. So this has been acting as a key resistance. But the Bitcoin dominance, so here's the thing, right? Look at the Bitcoin dominance. It has been bearish. Like literally since, what do we have here? I mean, this candle, this is like 7th of July. So it's been completely oversold. Right now, it's at, let's have a look, the longest time we've spent in there. So this is one of the largest periods of Bitcoin dominance flattening on the weekly. You can see it right there. We are just literally sitting at 58% with a weekly RSI reading of, bloody hell, this is like, 1.8. The two signal lines are literally flat. But if you look at the daily, this is where it's literally had the push here. So we could, I mean, this is what I was thinking. We could come up to this 59% level. That's a level to watch for BTC.D right there. This is kind of like a major spike. But the one that I'm really watching is what the weekly does, because the weekly will give us if the weekly would be insane. Like literally, if it came back up, it'd have to test this upper levels of this trend line, and that's what Ben Cohen was saying. Yeah, Avo chart. It's insane. I think we this is the thing I would say about let's have a look at Avo. Yeah, this is kind of like breakout here is hot. Love how that whale just clipped it. It was like, I can't do it no more. I think you should be able to long it on Blofin, bro. But yeah, Ava's cooking, and let's just bring it up. 20%. Did they get listed or something? Something's happened here. Market cap 15 mil. Let's get markets. Pretty much still on DEX. Trading AI agents. Ah, okay. Avo on Solana. Yeah, it's I mean, chart's doing well. Chart's doing superbly well. Listen, lads, it's midnight. It's 7 o'clock on the dot. I'm in my drop top. Victor Yokeris. Any Arsenal fans in the building? Anyone saw Terence Crawford versus the Canelo fight? That was a crazy fight, man. Wait a minute. Don't know why, bro. Anyway, guys, anyone saw the boxing in the weekend? Who did you have? What do you think of Crawford? Let me see. There is a project that I have, but I'm still doing a bit of research. I think the VIP guys need to assess that opportunity and let me know what they think. I will have to duck because it's midnight. But God bless you all. Stay strong. And we'll do another live stream tomorrow, guys. Do another live stream tomorrow for sure. And yeah, don't be afraid. If we get a crazy dip, just buy your favorite cryptos, man. All right, my family, good night. God bless you all. I'll catch you on the next show. Take care, guys.